Good afternoon, everybody. It's raining at my house, and sometimes we just have bad days. So I wanted to read to you Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, written by Judith Forst and illustrated by Ray Cruz. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard. And by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'm going to move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have the front seat by the window. And Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. And I said I was being scrunched. And I said I was being smushed. And I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car seat sick. And no one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dixon liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. And at singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Mayo was his next best friend and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone and the ice cream part falls off the cone, and I hope that it lands in Australia. What a terrible day. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to pack the dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Mr. and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. And I said, well, next week I'm going to be in Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for Mom to get the car, Anthony made me fall where there was mud, and then I started crying because of the mud. Nick said I was just a crybaby. And then, while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car, and she yelled at me for being muddy and fighting. I'm having such a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And no one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers, and Anthony chose the white ones with blue stripes, and Nick chose the red ones with white stripes, and I chose the blue ones with red stripes, but then the man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy the plain old white ones, but I'm not going to wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as I could be except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, and I think I called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick me up anymore. It was such a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas, and I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and my Mickey Mouse light burned out, and I bit my tongue. And the cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And Mom said, some days are just like that.